Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Gary Amble. Let's do a little Facebook Live time here. We've got a winter storm that's brewing. Now this isn't going to be a huge whamma jamma of a storm. It's going to be kind of a weak little system, but at the same time, it is December. Temperatures will be cooling, and for a very short period of time, we may see a few snowflakes out of this. It all starts about 24 hours from right now. So basically, just before 10 o'clock on your Wednesday night is when all of this will kick off. Well, looking outside over the city right now, things are pretty quiet. So let's shift camera angles, check out Lawrence. I just thought I'd allow a few extra people to kind of join this conversation a little bit before we get into the real meat and potatoes of what's going to be coming in over the next 24 to 36 hours. This is a look at Lawrence. Now, earlier today, these flags were standing straight out. That wind is blowing in almost due east, but this flag now is beginning to bend more towards campus, and that means there's more of a northeasterly component to that easterly breeze. East winds mean that there's low pressure off to the west, and that's exactly what's going on right now. Low pressure areas are the storm systems, and that's the one that will be moving in. So, you ready to jump in and have a look at what's going on? Well, first of all, it's a quiet Doppler radar screen. This is from our site in Belton, Missouri. It's live radar, and I really love the fact that we can look at live radar when we're looking at these incoming storms. It tells you precisely down to the nanosecond where that precipitation is located. Now, to look all the way out into Colorado, obviously, I can't use the same radar beam from Belton, Missouri. The Earth curves, and we just shoot right over the top of that, even if it was possible. But this is a composite set of radar, so several radar sites in Colorado are picking up that light precipitation. That's the developing storm system. Kind of ragged right now, and in fact, the low pressure center itself is more like western Oklahoma, but it's the precipitation right now in the Rockies that has my attention so far. But we will see developing showers begin to form basically in Oklahoma and southwest Kansas. That may be a little bit trying there near Dodge City, but again, it hasn't really fired up yet. Snow is mostly in the higher elevations. Out on the plains, it'll likely go and transition more into a rain, and that's what's going to be moving in here by tomorrow evening. And it looks to be mostly rain, even through Wednesday night. And oh, by the way, if you do have plans in the middle part of the week, just fire off a couple of questions. I have Maggie over here with the phone, and she's going to fire your questions to me. So if you want me to get really detailed about where you are, I'll be certainly happy to give that a stab. Here's
DJ has a question.
Oh, DJ, what do you have?
TJ.
TJ, sorry about that.
Tightwad to KC tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. What will she face?
You are A-OK. From Tightwad, Missouri into the city, you are just fine. Doesn't look like the rain will start until probably after dark. So not only could you get to the city, but if you wanted to head back down to Tightwad, you're probably still in pretty good shape there. Tightwad, Missouri, by the way, down by Truman Lake. Let's check out now. The Kansas City is way up here. That precip that we've been looking at is there in Colorado. But it's actually the panhandle of Texas where I'm looking at this, precipitation in some form, snow and rain to start to move our way, and that's still well over 400 miles away. So we have 24 hours at the earliest, I think, that we would see the precip in here. So again, to get to your question, TJ, it looks like we are still easily more than 24 hours away. So that time that you gave me looks to be perfect to be on the roadways. Temperatures still above freezing, but they have cooled everywhere, even Kansas City now at 39. Olathe, typically kind of a cool spot right now, is the warmest at 42 degrees, matching Butler, Missouri's 42 degrees as well. Now, I will be tracking precipitation, but at the same time, I'm going to be looking at temperatures very closely because as we get down near that 32 degree mark on Thursday morning, that's when we'll see that transition over into more of a snow event. Winter weather advisories, notice the Kansas City viewing area is outlined by all of these counties right here, but it's Wichita and areas west that are right now boxed in under those advisories. Now, obviously, that precip hits this area first, which is why the boxes are already set up. But right now, and I think you'll see it because I'm going to show you some updated model information here to show you just how minuscule this rain may be. And here's the first one. This is kind of a broad view. It shows rain coming in initially. If you look at the time here, that's about 1 o'clock in the morning, early Thursday morning. So this is Wednesday night when that precipitation finally begins to roll in. And it's all rain, even as far west as Manhattan and almost to Wichita. It's still all rain with temperatures tomorrow that will be eventually climbing into the upper 40s. Then with overcast skies, it's much more difficult for those temperatures to drop off. So we keep it well above freezing through midnight. No threat for rain there. There could be a little bit of a mixture, maybe a little sleet mixing in with the rain, especially north of I-70. That's through the overnight hours, with snow that may pop briefly at about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, but that would not last for any more. And I think even saying an hour is probably going to stretch it. It's probably just a brief little 20-minute little transition into snow before that finally leaves, and then the skies will eventually clear. I did some updating on some of the of this same graphic, and this is basically your metro counties. So it shows rain at midnight moving up into the metro vicinity. It does cover most of southern Jackson and almost all of Johnson County on the Kansas side. So the two most heavily populated counties beginning to see that rain tomorrow, and I'd say anytime after about 10 o'clock or so. So once 10 o'clock news starts, we should see that rain flirting with the southern portions of the metro area, and that continues through midnight. Here's that transition. That could be sleet here moving into Clay County and Wyandotte. Maybe little pieces, bits and pieces of sleet mixing in with the rain. That would be across Jackson and Johnson County of the metro area. And if you did see any snow at all, I think it's over here, Jefferson County, up by Perry Lake, and maybe a little bit around Leavenworth as well. That's a possibility that'll quickly move on out. And then it looks like areas to the north may see a little pop of snow there up around Atchison. So that's where the snow is. Now let's look at some of the snow totals and rainfall totals. This is rainfall first. This will be a little bit more impressive. And again, this has been an updated look at the Model 2, but there's one more model run. It's going to come in between now and 10 o'clock tonight. So be sure to tune in to KCTV 5 at 10 to see an updated look at this. This shows half-inch amounts down around Garnett. The metro, not much. Maybe 0.2 of an inch around Olathe. Metro area, I think it sees probably less than 1/10. So this is a very minor event when it comes to precipitation. Barely enough to make a puddle, really. And then the snowfall forecast, get ready to be unimpressed here. Looks like Atchison, Lawrence, maybe parts of western Douglas County. Then we could see maybe these little half-inch snows around Topeka. You go west towards Wabaunsee County, and there may be an inch of snow on some of the grassy areas. Not huge, but again, this is the metro. And again, as this clock ticks, you can see that we may be teased with snow. It's not saying that you won't see snow. I think you probably will, but anything that measures up, and that's probably a stretch because this is so light. I think a little bit of snowfall, some of the grassy areas may see a brief little dust over. More than likely, it'll look a little bit more like a light frost, I think, than anything else. So any more questions, Maggie?
Lori wants to know what the weather will be like for the sporting game Thursday night.
Oh, that's a big one, Lori. The good news is, this system completely pulls out of here, so precipitation is not a problem for the sporting game. Temperatures will be a bit of a problem. In fact, let me stop this. Now, this screen may go to black here just for a brief bit, but I'm going to show you the Sporting KC forecast, and here it is. Taking on Minnesota, big playoff game. And by the way, at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, I'll be out at the stadium well, I can't join the tailgate parties, obviously, with the whole COVID thing going on, but I'm doing live weather from the parking lot area out there on Thursday evening. So cold, cold, cold. Kickoff temperature, 32 degrees. If you are one of the fans that'll be in the stands watching that playoff game, bundle it up, 32 at kickoff. But temperatures don't drop much from there. 31 at halftime, 31 also in the 90th minute of that game. And it's one of those games that I hope Sporting is ahead at the end of the 90th minute and there's not a lot of extra time to be played, because I'm telling you what, it is going to be cold out at Children's Mercy Park on Thursday night.
James wants to know if there's going to be any slick roads or ice.
James wants to know if there's going to be slick roads or ice. No, I don't think so. As you saw before, this precip is so light. The more meaningful rains come early in the day on Thursday. It's mostly rain. I think we do have adequate time for that to dry out before we'd see any problems. Even if we did get a little bit of ice on Thursday morning, it'll melt away once temperatures go above freezing. And I'll tell you what, it's such a minor, thin little amount. Even if it didn't melt, I think it would sublimate away. Sublimation just means that you go from that solid frozen state to a vapor state. That's why sometimes you can put an ice cube in your freezer, you come back a week later and it shrinks up into nothing. It didn't melt, it just sublimated away. And I think we could see a little bit of that too, but that's not going to happen either because temperatures on Thursday will go above freezing.
Tony Tony wants to know what the highs are going to be tomorrow morning.
Okay, Tony wants to know, well, tomorrow morning we'll see generally low temperatures and we'll be down in that 31-degree range. Right now, Kansas City is at 39, so we've got about 8 degrees to drop during the overnight hours. 31 in the morning, the daytime high then will climb to about 48 degrees. So as that system pulls in from the west, it's actually going to pull in some warmer air before we see that cool down come in late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Okay, that's it. Well, hey, thank you guys for watching this Facebook Live. That was just a taste of what I'm going to talk about tonight at 10 o'clock. Be sure to tune in at 10 with brand new model information to show you what that storm is going to do. And the closer you get to that event, the more accurate it gets. See you guys at 10.